is making headlines again, unsurprisingly, for getting away with more criminality. See, the company recently pled guilty to the destruction of evidence related to the 2010 Deepwater Horizon explosion that caused one of the largest oil spills in history. Even though BP owned the rig, Halliburton was the corporation that had designed and built the well. And before drilling even began, it was Halliburton's job to make the necessary recommendations to ensure the safety of the well. That included the construction of 21 stabilizing collars throughout the well. However, BP chose to only build 6, and Halliburton never made a peep about it despite knowing the risks involved in cutting these corners. Immediately following the disaster, it was revealed that Halliburton ordered workers to destroy computer simulations showing what would happen if less than 21 collars were used in any given well. The result of which we sadly already know: 11 people dead. Hundreds of...
Welcome to the Focus News. My name is Paul.
My name is Simla, and today we are covering a short broadcast on Halliburton. We will be discussing about the unethical relationship of Halliburton and the link between the company and the government. Former CEO Dick Cheney became the Vice President of the United States and controlled the power of decision-making. From the last decade, Halliburton has been building a negative reputation in the world. They have been accused of numerous unethical behaviors, such as criminal sanctions. From what I have seen on news, Cheney has also capitalized on the connection he made while being paid by taxpayers to earn millions of dollars, presiding over Halliburton. And not to forget that his business dealing with corporate Arab autocrats, including some in countries that were enemies of the United States. Upon returning to government, he advanced a theory of executive that is at odds with the intention of founder, successfully encouraged the federal government to illegally spy on innocent Americans, passed on to the public false information about weapons of mass destruction in Iraq, and became directly compliant in the system of torture for which he should be in jail. This only shows how he established contract to gain power.
To talk about Halliburton's unethical behaviors in depth, we have Dorian in studios with us today. Hello, Dorian.
Hello.
Hello, Paul and Vilma.
Could you please explain us what does your research work says about Halliburton in terms of emotional intelligence?
Yes. I believe emotional intelligence is closely linked to Halliburton, as the former CEO, Dick Cheney, lacks the ability to understand and recognize other emotions. It is the principal link between Halliburton and the American government. It contributed to increase Halliburton's revenue and was taking action against Halliburton ethics code. Dick Cheney was a self-aggrandizing criminal who used his knowledge as a Washington insider to subvert both public debate about matters of war and peace to manipulate presidential decision-making. To refer a speech delivered during a meeting on the 7th of September 2004 about voting against Democratic Senator John Kerry, the dictionary was using one of the characteristics of emotional intelligence by saying, "We humans, being the product of a long evolutionary process, really have three brains." And as the Bush CEOs folks know, politicians who win campaigns do so because they speak to all three those brains. To analyze this speech, dictionary mentioned into the first one, the reptilian brain, is the one linked with the survival, focus on the survival. Mammalian brain is the one is linked with emotion, and the third one is the neocortex, is dealing with abstract thought, words and symbols, logic and time. When he was talking to this brain at the same time, he demonstrated that he understands about emotion and how to manage them, and as well it is capable of motivating himself. Emotional intelligence, as any theory, could be benefited for a good and a bad cause. In this specific case, the vice president and the major stockholder of Halliburton Corporation was directly involved in unethical business. And when we talk about social awareness, Halliburton took advantage of sensing others' feelings by dealing and overcharging. They manipulated that fear to justify their unethical behavior. In terms of political awareness, during Cheney's tenure, Halliburton did not respect the ethic code of business conduct. They made so many deals with countries like Azerbaijan, Indonesia, Iraq, Libya, and Nigeria, even though the US government had imposed strict sanctions. Again, who was the one who was the one behind those decisions? Dick Cheney, the Vice President of the United States.
Halliburton pleaded guilty to being scumballs who have destroyed evidence. What they did was they covered up evidence that the cement that they sold BP to plug the well in the Gulf. They had said that they had warned BP that they needed to use more cement. In fact, it probably didn't make any difference. So this is something that BP is going to try to use to get them off the hook. Halliburton destroyed evidence, but the truth is, my own investigations, I went all the way to Asia, to Azerbaijan, and I found out that BP already knew that the cement would fail, that they used to plug the well in the Gulf, because it had already failed. That same cement procedure had already failed 17 months earlier in the Caspian Sea. Another BP oil rig offshore, and they covered it.
Well, Dorian, based on our discussion, we can conclude that emotional intelligence as well as power and politics has been driven so masterfully by Dick Cheney to endorse his unethical behavior, which has damaged company's reputation. As well, we still have one more question from you, from the audience. As you have done a lot of research about Halliburton, what would you do differently to stop this unethical behavior?
I believe Halliburton could avoid it by stopping the former CEO, Dick Cheney. While the executive board had been informed that he has been chosen by the vice president, they should have dismissed him as a CEO. Although Halliburton was aware of working with the vice president, Dick Cheney, could affect the integrity of the company, especially when the profit kept increasing year after year. Without mentioning that Dick Cheney was a major stockholder of Halliburton. As we understand that the principal target for any business is to make profit, any business can be tempted to do unethical practice. So far, the law is created to protect the community, but it is enough to prevent against some leaders who believe they possess the power. To prevent this type of unethical behavior, Halliburton has voted a code of business conduct that effective from August 2013. We hope Halliburton has learned from this mistake. Thank you, Vilma and Paul, for the invitation.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And this is West Focus News for tonight.